You've noticed it. The conversation you keep replaying hours after it's over. The message you type, delete, and retype until the screen feels like a mirror. The future event you've already lived countless times in your head, convinced that with enough preparation, you can guarantee the outcome. This is not analysis. It's addiction. The mind is addicted to control, and overthinking is its favorite illusion of power. It replays what already happened and anticipates what hasn't, believing that enough thought can rewrite the past or outsmart the future. It loops between memory and prediction, mistaking mental movement for real-world progress. The mind would rather suffer in control than rest in uncertainty. And so you live in a self-made echo chamber, trapped by a mind that can't stop solving problems, even when there are none left to solve. You can't think your way out of the trap, because thinking is the trap. True freedom begins the second you stop believing every thought belongs to you. And that's when your mind finally shifts from owning you to serving you. Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal the truth behind why the mind overthinks, how constant mental noise is shaping your actions, and how to replace endless analysis with decisive thinking that moves your life forward. If you're ready to unlock the full power of your mind, like and subscribe now. What you're about to discover could forever change the way you navigate everyday life. Overthinking begins as protection. Your mind believes that if it can predict every outcome, it can prevent pain. It disguises fear as preparation. The truth is simple. Overthinking is a survival reflex, a leftover mechanism from when uncertainty meant danger, not discomfort. But the modern world runs on uncertainty. We can't control what people think, how markets move, or how events unfold. So the mind keeps scanning for threats that no longer exist, inventing problems just so it can keep solving them. When something feels unresolved, the mind opens a loop. It promises that if you just think it through one more time, you'll finally feel certain. But the certainty never arrives because thought can't erase emotion, it can only circle it. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Yet, most people live the reverse. They treat every situation as a puzzle to solve, not an experience to live. Overthinking isn't deep thinking, it's doubt disguised as discipline. Carl Jung warned that what we don't make conscious controls us. He wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Overthinking is proof of this. It's the unconscious fear of uncertainty, wearing the mask of logic. You don't overthink because you're broken. You overthink because the mind was designed to protect you, but what was once protection has now become control. You pay for overthinking in a currency more valuable than time. You pay with presence. Every moment spent contemplating a decision is a moment not lived inside it. The cost isn't just the hours you lose, it's the opportunities you never take. You replay what's done, and you pre-play what hasn't even happened. And between those two, life passes unnoticed. Endless thinking is how the mind escapes responsibility while pretending to be responsible. Every overthought decision leaves a residue of self-doubt. Every mental loop steals clarity from the present and confidence from the future. But awareness changes the equation because the moment you can see the cost, you can choose to stop paying it. In the next section, we'll uncover how to think with clarity, how to break the loop, not by thinking less, but by thinking better. You are not your thoughts. Understanding this is the first step out of the loop. Because when you see why the mind overthinks, you stop fighting your thoughts and start observing them. Psychologists call this cognitive diffusion. when you step back from your mind and see thoughts for what they are, passing events, not commands, not truth. You separate your identity from your thoughts, and this distance ends the illusion that thinking and being are the same. The noise starts to settle, the overthinking loop dissolves, and mental clarity begins. The goal is not to stop thinking. It's to stop believing every thought. Dr. Stephen Hayes, founder of acceptance and commitment therapy, explains that freedom begins when we stop fusing with our thoughts. When we see them as experiences, not orders. Marcus Aurelius understood a similar truth centuries earlier. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Clarity has always been an internal skill, not an external condition. To think clearly, the mind needs stillness between thoughts. Notice the thought arise. Don't chase it, don't deny it. Just let it pass through, like a drifting cloud in an endless blue sky. Awareness is observing thought, it's not the thought itself. Awareness is where insight lives, where reaction becomes reflection. And it's in that reflection that choice returns. When the mind goes quiet, intelligence isn't lost. It's discovered. Neuroscientist Dr. Judson Brewer calls this the awareness gap, the moment between impulse and action where habit can't reach you. Ancient philosophers Aristotle and Epictetus called it paralysis, the inner freedom to choose your response no matter how chaotic the situation. You can't control every thought, but you can control which ones you focus on. Clarity isn't thinking more. It's thinking better. The purpose of awareness is not to silence thought, but to refine it. To remove illusion so truth can emerge. Alan Watts described it perfectly. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. That's what cognitive clarity feels like. When the mud settles, you don't lose depth, you gain transparency. That's when your mind finally becomes your ally instead of your owner. In the next section, we'll uncover how to apply clear thinking in daily life, how to translate awareness into action, and how to rebuild a sharper mind that moves your life forward. If you're enjoying the video so far, comment below and share the insight that resonated with you most. Which one made you see your mind's patterns more clearly? Your answer could bring clarity to others, helping them notice their own overthinking loops. Awareness without application changes nothing. To rebuild your life with better thinking, you need deliberate practice, habits that train the mind to serve clarity, not chaos. Here are the practices that rewire how you think, decide, and act. 1. Name the thought. Don't become it. When a thought appears, label it silently. That's worry. That's judgment. That's planning. Naming separates you from the story. It reminds the brain that a thought is an event, not a command. This simple act lowers emotional reactivity and restores choice. 2. Breathe before you respond. Each time you feel tension rise, before you speak, click, or decide, pause for a single breath. Not deep meditation, just one full inhale and one full exhale. That breath interrupts the automatic chain between thought and reaction. Neuroscience shows this micro-pause re-engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that chooses instead of reacts. 3. Externalize the loop. When thoughts spiral, don't keep them in your head, write them down. Seeing them on paper exposes their repetition and weakness. Patterns become obvious. Problems shrink in size. Once a loop is visible, it loses authority. You can now act on facts, not feelings. 4. Ask better questions. Every overthinker asks, what if. Train yourself to ask what now. What if feeds speculation, but what now demands movement. This reframes uncertainty into decision, turning fear into forward motion. 5. Set boundaries for thinking. Each day, carve out dedicated times for reflection. Decide exactly when reflection happens and exactly when it stops. Outside those windows, you act. This trains your mind to contain analysis instead of letting it consume the day. It's cognitive discipline, not cognitive denial. 6. Ground thought in motion. The body resets the mind. When loops tighten, move. Walk, stretch, lift, clean, or step outside. Physical motion tells the nervous system that the threat is imagined, not real. And once the body relaxes, clear thought follows. 7. Replace rumination with reflection. Rumination repeats, reflection reveals. After an event, ask yourself, what happened? What did I learn? What will I do differently? You extract insight instead of replaying regret, converting experience into growth instead of guilt. These practices don't silence thought, they align it. They train awareness to lead and the mind to follow. And when you apply them consistently, overthinking loses its grip because thought now serves a purpose. Better thinking isn't abstract. It's disciplined awareness applied to ordinary life. One breath, one question, one decision at a time. And over time, those small acts rebuild more than thought. They rebuild you. In the final section, we'll close the loop and show you how to live with awareness as your default state, not just your practice. If this video helped you recognize your thought patterns, like and subscribe now. It helps other open-minded thinkers uncover these powerful insights. Share your experience in the comments and send this video to someone who might need a moment of clarity today. The mind always wants one more answer, one more analysis, one more conclusion. True awareness isn't about adding thoughts. It's about knowing when to stop chasing them. True peace isn't found in solving every question. It's found in moving beyond the need to solve. When awareness leads and thought follows, you move through life differently. You listen more than you react. You see things as they are, not as fear shapes them to be. You act without hesitation because clarity has already decided. The goal was never to silence the mind. It was to make it clear enough to hear what matters. And when that happens, questions lose their weight. The questions fade, and the mind grows quiet. What remains is true awareness. Nothing to fix, nothing to find. Reality begins where overthinking ends.